welcome. This is SportsCenter. Lisa Salter standing by with Klay Thompson after a hot shooting night. We'll get his thoughts on the victory. Eventually, we'll hear from LeBron James, Steph Curry as well when they sit down at the podium, as well as the head coaches Steve Kerr and Darvin Ham. Tim Legler is here. We got a lot to unpack with him tonight, including a breakdown of the change the Warriors made on offense with Steph Curry. A dozen assists for him. First, the highlights from San Francisco. We said in the meeting we hoped it's not the Boston deal, meaning you expect the home team to answer. We just hoped it wasn't a blowout. Turns out it was. See, the last 15 teams to lose game one at home have won game two. No Loon. He wasn't feeling well. That allows JaMychal Green to impact this game significantly. He hits the three there. Warriors up three. LeBron James. He came out firing and hitting from three. Lakers take the lead. In transition,
LeBron James.
the spin and the layup. He was hunting his shots. He was patient but attacking when the moment allowed, like right there. 14 in the first quarter, and the Lakers had the lead. Early second, Stephen Curry. Dante DiVincenzo hits the three. That cuts the lead to two. Later in the quarter, defense turns to offense. A little bit sloppy here. Steph, where you at, Klay? Right here. That's the wrong dude to leave nude right there because he will make you pay. That puts the Warriors up. Then Steph, through traffic, hangs and hits. The Warrior lead is three. Late in the quarter, shot clock winding down. James just chucks it up and banks in, and we're tied at 40. He had 21 first half points. Under 4 to go. Klay, give me all three of these. And the Warrior leads now 7. They're up 10. In transition, again, Klay. You know what it looks like when he gets feeling it. He'll hurt you. Lakers outscored 41-23 in the second, and the Warriors, as we mentioned, up 11 at the break. Is there a Laker rally? No. JaMychal Green down low for the dunk. The lead's pushed to 15. We've seen these avalanches through the years. The Warriors will put you to bed. Klay again. It's 18. JaMychal Green. Go ahead. Jack. Hey, it's my night, man. The lead's 20. Klay. Cash. And he gets a huge ovation. Everybody in San Francisco knows just how much this guy has meant to them throughout this championship run. 6th career playoff game with 8 3-pointers or more. There's Steph one time. Wasn't shooting tonight. That was really what he did to impact the game. Pop, loving that. LeBron and AD. You notice you didn't see AD in the highlight at all. There's a reason for that. He really didn't do anything. That's something we'll talk to Tim Legler about here in just a moment. This is Kerr's 17th playoff win by at least 25 points, breaking a tie with his former head coach Phil Jackson, now tied with another former coach of his, Greg Popovich.
Respect the game.
Here's Lisa Salters with Klay Thompson after his big shooting night in the Warriors' even bigger win.
Klay, how were you guys able to be so dominant tonight?
Well, we realized we let one go in game one, and we've been having to bounce back all year from adversity, and not a better group to do it with than these guys. So came out, our offense was flowing, turnovers were low, hitting open man. We keep it simple. The floodgates can open.
As for you and your game, just what felt good to you tonight?
This one felt great. I didn't shoot the ball particularly well the last few games, so to come out here and get hot in the early beginning, I mean, I watched film in the first game, and I feel like I rushed a lot of great looks. Tonight I utilized my pump fake. I was patient, and I'm going to try and take this same flow to L.A. tomorrow.
It was next man up for JaMychal Green. Just describe the impact that he had.
So proud of J-Mike. Not playing much in the first series, come out here and having such a huge impact. What a great shooter. His physicality, I mean, he showed him why he's a 10-year vet, and he's so important for us in this series and going forward. So just as his teammate, I'm incredibly proud and so grateful for his performance tonight.
And I know that a win is a win, but what does a win like this, what kind of message does that send to them, to you guys?
I don't think it sends much of a message because we know LeBron has seen it all, AD's seen it all. and it's 1-1 at the end of the day. So we got to go to LA and get one, and go from there.
Thanks. Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Lisa.
Klay, obviously growing up with his pop and the Laker history, he showed out tonight. Tim Legler is with us. You know to expect a touchscreen this time of year. That's coming on the impact of Steph Curry and the ball in his hands, what that meant. I got a long list of things that you and I talked about that we want to get into here because there's a long list of things. It's a blowout, yes, but there's a lot baked into it. If you're prioritizing what's most important, and we're going to get to that touchscreen on Steph, how do you rank them?
Let's start with Klay, all right, the ultimate co-star. He had his back tonight. He had Steph Curry's back. You knew he was going to show up in a big way. I love what he just said because it's so important as a shooter to watch yourself on tape and visualize, what you need to do to slow things down. That is the one thing about Klay Thompson. Sometimes he rushes because he squeezes it too tight because he wants it so bad. He came out early in this one and got into an incredible rhythm. Look how fast
the ball's out of his hands
from the cradle to release. There's never been anybody faster, including his teammate Steph Curry. But what this does for a team to relax, knowing that one of those two guys is this hot in the first half. And Steph was very willing to take on all that pressure, all that attention, facilitate, and that's what it led to. But Klay Thompson, I think, having that good of a start to the game was so critical because the Lakers were really good early offensively.
First quarter, they were fantastic.
Klay was matching them, kind of keeping them in it until they could make their run, and they did that later. So he's the headliner from the night offensively and why this became such a blowout.
And he's an energy provider, but JaMychal as well. I mean, it gets a chance. Kevon Looney not feeling well, so you give a vet a chance, and how does his impact? He outscores Anthony Davis, by the way, in this game. Something else we'll get to. But how did the energy from players like that and DiVincenzo play into how this thing gets away from the Lakers?
Super interesting because they're kind of forced into making this decision because Looney wasn't right. So they go with JaMychal Green. He played as many minutes tonight, basically, as he has in the entire playoffs. But it's ironic because it actually created incredible spacing for them early in the game because you just had one big on the floor. He could just go camp out in the corner. It negated some of what Anthony Davis was able to do defensively to this team in the first game when he basically shut off everyone's water in the lane. Well, here's the answer to that. Now let's just go put that other guy who would have been Looney camping out around the basket. Let's just go stick a three-point shooter in the corner. Now, it's one thing to stay ready as a pro, and Klay alluded to it. Right, staying ready is one thing.
Right.
Actually executing the shot making is entirely different on this stage with a lot of pressure. You get out 0-2, you're probably cooked. So for him to rise up was phenomenal. DiVincenzo gave them huge minutes. His energy, his hustle, his defense, just making plays that will not show up on the stat sheet that led to offense. Can't say enough about those two guys as role players having a major impact.
Okay, and again, the Steph Curry touchscreen coming in a little bit, and we're going to get to the Anthony Davis piece because that's really interesting. But first, let's hear what Darvin Ham had to say as the Lakers get blown out in Game 2.
My gut feeling, my instincts tell to me that my eyes saw us settle a little bit. We mishandled the ball some early. We were right there early on, neck and neck. But a couple of possessions got away from us early. And I just thought they did a good job of crowding the paint and not allowing us, trying to prevent us from playing downhill as much. And that in turn affects what we do at the free throw line. So we'll go back to the drawing board and look at different ways we can sustain what we did well and what we've done well over the course of these first two games, and then look at what we can possibly do better.
Of course, new series now, but you lose Game 2 in Memphis after winning Game 1. You get back home. Is there a different type of a sense of your team and how you think that you will respond, and how different are these series than what these opponent challenges are?
And I fully anticipate our team to respond in the right way.
Darvin, 11 points tonight, 11 shots, one free throw attempt. What did you make of Draymond's defense against him? And you referenced crowding the paint. They obviously, anytime he was rolling or trying to catch the ball, there was 2-3 guys around him at all times.
Dre, he's going to do his work early. And, it's the reason why he's a perennial all-defensive player. He's going to force tough catches, and when he's on the ball, he's his on-ball activity second to none, and he's a good communicator when if A is not trying to go at him, we're going into a secondary action after getting the ball to A. He's great about that, whether he has to switch or talk his guy through the scenario. He's been top shelf his entire career in that regard. So again, we just we got to go back and look at ways we can move A around, put him in different spacing, different actions, and just try to diversify his attack.
I love listening to him talk. I feel like it's like listening to you because I feel like I always learn something when Darvin Ham is speaking. About Davis, let's give Draymond credit for defense for sure. But there's a word with him, Davis, I'm speaking of, that I'm hesitant to use because I feel like it's loaded. If I say engaged, it sounds like it means he doesn't care or he's not interested, and that's not what I'm saying. But he was so spectacular in Game 1, and then in Game 2 just doesn't impact it. What's a fair way to describe what he was or wasn't in this game?
Couple things. We're going to give Draymond Green a lot of credit. I'm going to collectively give them credit because of the way they were converging on him on any sort of dive action, okay? But it's almost like Anthony Davis sometimes comes to the arena after having a great game and saying to himself, well, I guess I'm going to see a different defense tonight. So he's almost prepared already to take his foot off the gas and let somebody else do it. Now, he had some decent looks in this one early that he didn't convert. But one of the things you'll notice on all of these clips that we just showed on the previous highlight when Darvin Ham had been talking, all of those were the same action. High ball screen, dive to the foul line, take a short jumper. Where are plays with his back to the basket on post-up action where you get him the ball deep, we can shoot a turnaround jumper or use a power dribble to draw people? Where is he on the offensive glass? Non-existent tonight in those regards. So this is a guy that when he doesn't add those to his game and show you the full package, he is bailing out someone because of his length, strength, and skill. If you don't see all of it, then you have a chance to defend him, and that's what happened tonight. Yeah. All of it was high ball screen, dive to the middle lane. Either he gets a shot or he doesn't. That's pretty much all he did the entire game. So I'll put some of it on the Lakers not utilizing the same way, but also there's just that less effort than you see some nights. And Golden State needed this out of Anthony Davis to have a chance to get back in the series.
Because he shows you the ceiling, and when you see it, you're reminded there are very few who can hang, if any. And then in a game like this where it just feels pedestrian, and I just wonder, you heard the question about Memphis, right? Like, the script is similar. You win the one, then you get blown out in Game 2, but you're not playing Memphis. No. How dangerous a game is it if you're the Lakers to try to play it'll be like the Memphis series script?
I'll tell you one thing that stood out to me tonight, Scott, based on the difference between two teams. Lakers got gassed tonight. They were gassed.
That's interesting, isn't it?
The commitment to the way they played them defensively in the first game was just not there. It's the same commitment, and there's a reason. When you play Memphis, it's static sets. You got to deal with high ball screen with Ja, load the lane. Every now and then we'll throw it into Jaren Jackson in the post. Okay, we'll deal with that. And then some action for Bane off screens. That's it. With the Warriors, it's chaos. It's constant chasing. It's make a mistake, we're going to make you pay. So how committed are you? Are you committed for a game? Great, you were in Game 1. Are you committed for a series? Possession after possession, it's exhausting. And I saw the Lakers sort of cave when the Warriors hit them a little bit of run in the third quarter. They were not up for the fight tonight to commit to the way you have to play that team.
Well, not a 15-round fight, maybe a 7-round fight. But we know that Game 3 will be Saturday.